welcome home. You've traveled 13.8 billion years to arrive at this exact moment. Right now, lying in bed, about to discover the most relaxing facts about the universe. Facts that will help you fall asleep while understanding something profound about yourself. Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science channel. Here's what makes tonight different. You think you're lying still. You're not. You're moving through space at over 1 million miles per hour. And that worry you brought to bed? It's about to get very, very small. This is your gentle journey home through space and time. No pressure to stay awake. No need to remember. You're welcome to drift off whenever you're ready. But if you stay with me for just a few minutes, I'm going to show you why you're not in the universe. You are the universe. And that changes everything. Let's begin. Every atom in your body has existed since the beginning of time itself. That's not metaphor. That's physics. You are made of atoms that were forged inside dying stars billions of years ago. The carbon in your body, the oxygen you're breathing, the iron in your blood. All of it was created in stellar furnaces and scattered across space in supernova explosions so violent they outshone entire galaxies. You are stardust that learned to think. You are the universe experiencing itself. And tonight, you're returning home to the cosmic consciousness you came from. Sleep is not shutdown. Sleep is reunion. So let your thoughts soften. Let your breathing slow. There's nowhere else you need to be. Nothing else you need to do. Just drift through these cosmic facts, these gentle reminders of how extraordinary ordinary existence really is. You're exactly where you need to be. The atoms in your body are ancient beyond imagination. The hydrogen atoms in the water molecules inside you right now, most of them have existed since 3 minutes after the Big Bang, 13.8 billion years old. Your breathing history. Scientists have calculated that in your body right now, you have approximately 7 octillion atoms. That's 7 followed by 27 zeros. 7 billion atoms. And every single one has a story that stretches back to the beginning of time. Think about that for a moment. The calcium in your bones was created inside a red giant star. The iron in your blood came from a supernova explosion. The nitrogen in your DNA was forged in stellar cores over millions of years. You are not just in the universe. You are made of the universe. There's no separation between you and the stars, the boundary between your skin and the air. It's just a useful fiction. At the atomic level, you and the cosmos are one continuous thing. And here's something even more remarkable. Those atoms in your body, they're mostly empty space. If you could remove all the empty space from all the atoms in all the humans on Earth, the entire human race would fit inside a sugar cube. We are mostly nothing, held together by forces we barely understand. But that nothing, that empty space, it's not really empty. According to quantum physics, it's seething with virtual particles that pop in and out of existence. The vacuum of space is alive with possibility. Even nothing is something. You lie in bed feeling solid, but you're mostly emptiness, vibrating at certain frequencies. You're a pattern of energy, temporarily organized into the shape of a human being, like a whirlpool that maintains its shape even though the water constantly changes. And that's not diminishing. That's extraordinary. The matter that makes you, it cannot be created or destroyed. The law of conservation of energy, tells us that you have always existed and will always exist. You are eternal matter, temporarily pretending to be a person with a name and a face and a story. When ancient people looked up at the stars, they felt small, but they had it backwards. You're not small beneath the stars. You're made of the same stuff as the stars. When you look up at the night sky, you're looking at your relatives. You're looking at home. And there's something about where your atoms came from that will completely change how you see yourself. Carl Sagan said something about this that became famous. But what he didn't say publicly, that's the part that matters most. I'll tell you more about this in about 40 minutes, once you understand what stars actually do. The light from distant stars takes years, sometimes millions of years, to reach your eyes. When you look at the Andromeda galaxy, you're seeing light that left there 2.5 million years ago. You're not just looking at the stars, you're looking back in time. Every time you look up, you're seeing the universe as it was, not as it is. The present moment doesn't exist in space. Everything you see is the past. The sun you see is 8 minutes old. The stars could have exploded centuries ago, and you wouldn't know yet. Time and space are woven together into something called space-time. They're not separate. They're the same thing viewed from different angles. When you move through space, you move through time. When you move through time, you move through space. They are one fabric, curved and warped by the presence of mass and energy. But wait, something doesn't add up here. If time and space are the same thing, does that mean, and here's where it gets truly mysterious, time doesn't flow at the same rate everywhere. The stronger the gravity, the slower time moves. If you stood on the surface of a black hole, assuming you could survive, time would slow down so much that you'd watch the entire future of the universe flash by in moments. Astronauts on the International Space Station age slightly slower than people on Earth. Not by much, just a few milliseconds over months in orbit. But it's measurable. Time is flexible. Your experience of now is not the same as someone else's now. So when you worry about time passing too quickly, or time dragging on, remember this. Time is not absolute. It's relative. It bends. It stretches. It's not a river flowing at constant speed. It's more like a landscape with hills and valleys, vast streams and still pools. Your life exists in a specific time frame, but your atoms have existed through billions of years. You're temporary, but you're made of eternal stuff. That's the paradox of being human. You're both fleeting and forever. Let that settle in. You're both momentary and timeless. Here's what shocked scientists when they first realized this. You are not one thing. You are a colony. Your body contains about 37 trillion human cells, but it also contains about 40 trillion bacterial cells. You have more bacterial cells than human cells. Inside you right now, there are thousands of species of bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other microorganisms. They're on your skin, in your mouth, all through your digestive system. You are an ecosystem. You are a walking, talking planet, supporting trillions of life forms. And those organisms aren't parasites. Most of them are necessary. They help you digest food, produce vitamins, train your immune system. You couldn't survive without them. You are not an individual. You are a community. Even your human cells aren't entirely human. Inside each cell, you have structures called mitochondria. They're the powerhouses that generate energy. But mitochondria have their own DNA, separate from yours. That's because billions of years ago, they were independent bacteria that got absorbed into early cells. They still have their own genetic code. You're not just one organism. You're a civilization of organisms working together, negotiating, cooperating, all to keep you alive and thinking and feeling. When you say I, you're speaking for trillions of entities. And here's something that will shift your perspective. You replace most of the cells in your body every 7 to 10 years. The atoms in your body are constantly being exchanged with the environment. You breathe in oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide. You eat food, you excrete waste. You're not a static thing, you're a process. The you that exists right now is not the same collection of atoms that existed 10 years ago. Almost every atom has been replaced, but somehow, you're still you. Your memories persist, your personality continues. How? Because you are not your atoms. You are the pattern that those atoms make. You're like a whirlpool in a river. The water molecules that make up the whirlpool are constantly changing, flowing in and out. But the whirlpool remains. It has continuity even though its substance is always being replaced. You are a pattern in the flow of matter and energy. You're a temporary eddy in the stream of existence. And that pattern, that organization, that's what makes you you. Not the specific atoms, but the way they're arranged. Now you might be wondering, and you should be, for 380,000 years, the universe was opaque. Light couldn't travel. It was like being inside a cloud. Photons would be emitted, travel a tiny distance, get absorbed, get re-emitted, over and over. Light was trapped. Then, the universe cooled enough for electrons to bond with nuclei, forming the first complete atoms. And suddenly, light was free. Photons could travel unimpeded. The universe became transparent. This is the moment we call recombination. The light from that moment is still traveling through space. We can still see it. That ancient light is called the cosmic microwave background radiation. It fills the entire universe. It's everywhere, always, coming from every direction. When you turn on an old television to a channel with no signal, about 1% of that static. That's light from the Big Bang. You're watching the echo of creation. Scientists have measured this background radiation precisely. And here's what they found. It's incredibly uniform, almost the same temperature everywhere. But not quite. There are tiny variations, tiny ripples in the fabric of the early universe. And those ripples, those tiny differences in temperature and density, they became everything. Gravity pulled the denser regions together. Over millions of years, those small variations became clouds of gas. Those clouds became stars. Those stars became galaxies. And here we are. You exist because of quantum fluctuations in the first fraction of a second after the Big Bang. Random chance at the smallest possible scale became the largest structures in the universe. You are here because the universe was slightly lumpy 13.8 billion years ago. Everything that exists, every star, every planet, every atom in your body, can be traced back to those first few moments. We're all children of the Big Bang. We're all made of the same primordial stuff, just organized differently. And the universe is still expanding right now. Every second, space itself stretches. Galaxies move farther apart, not because they're flying through space, but because space itself is growing between them, like dots on a balloon being inflated. The dots don't move on the balloon's surface, but they get farther apart as the balloon expands. This means the universe has no center. Every point is the center. If you're in Los Angeles or Tokyo or the Andromeda Galaxy, you'd see all other galaxies moving away from you. Everyone is at the center. or no one is. It's the same thing. And here's the strangest part. The expansion is accelerating. Galaxies are moving apart faster and faster. Something is pushing space to expand, something we can't see or touch or measure directly. We call it dark energy, and it makes up 68% of everything that exists. Most of reality is something we don't understand at all. But that's okay. Mystery is not a problem to solve. It's a feature of existence. Not knowing everything is what makes wonder possible. Maybe you're lying there worried about tomorrow, worried about work, about a meeting, about a deadline, about an email you need to send, about a presentation, about saying the right thing or making a mistake. It feels heavy. It feels urgent. I understand. So let me show you something. Let me zoom out with you for just a moment. Right now, you're lying on a planet that's spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, but you don't feel it. You feel still. The Earth has been spinning like this for 4.5 billion years. Tomorrow will be rotation number 4,500,000,001. Your worry about tomorrow's meeting. It's happening on one rotation out of billions. It's one spin in a sequence that's been turning since before life existed, before oceans, before continents, before anything you can name. Now zoom out further. The Earth is orbiting the Sun at 67,000 miles per hour. We've completed about 4.5 billion orbits so far. Tomorrow will be orbit number 4,500,000,001 around our star. Zoom out more. The Sun is orbiting the center of the Milky Way galaxy. It takes 230 million years to complete one orbit. We've gone around about 20 times since the Sun formed. In the time dinosaurs existed, we traveled about 1/3 of the way around the galaxy. And zoom out one more time. The Milky Way itself is moving through space at 1.3 million miles per hour toward the Great Attractor, a massive gravitational anomaly hundreds of millions of light years away. Everything is moving. Everything is in motion. Your worry about tomorrow's meeting. It's traveling through space at over 1 million miles per hour right now. You think it's sitting still in your mind. You think it's permanent. It's not. It's moving. Everything is changing. Nothing stays. Your worry is temporary. But you, ancient atoms that have existed for 4.5 billion years, you outlast your worry by eons. The atoms in your body were here before tomorrow existed. They'll be here long after tomorrow is forgotten. You've survived 4.5 billion rotations already. You've endured ice ages and mass extinctions and the formation of continents. You'll survive tomorrow's meeting. Let it be small. Because it is. Let's talk about gravity. It's the weakest of all the fundamental forces, but it shapes everything. It holds you to the Earth. It keeps the moon orbiting our planet. It binds the solar system together. It gathers gas clouds into stars. It collects stars into galaxies. Gravity is the architect of cosmic structure. And yet, we don't really know what it is. We know what it does. We can measure its effects precisely. But what gravity actually is, that remains mysterious. Einstein said it's not a force at all. It's the curvature of space-time caused by mass and energy. Heavy objects bend space around them like a bowling ball on a trampoline. That curvature is what we feel as gravity. So when you feel the pull of Earth's gravity, you're not feeling a force pulling you down. You're feeling the universe trying to move in a straight line through curved space. The ground pushes up against you. That's what you feel as weight. You're constantly accelerating upward at 9.8 meters per second squared, held by the ground, prevented from following the straight path through curved space-time that would take you to Earth's center. This is why astronauts float in space. They're not weightless because there's no gravity. The International Space Station experiences about 90% of Earth's gravity, but they're in free fall. They're following the curved path through space-time, and so is their ship. Relative to the ship, they're motionless. They're following the natural curve. That's what free fall is, moving along the geometry of space-time without resistance. Everything is falling, all the time. The moon is falling around the Earth. The Earth is falling around the sun. The sun is falling around the galactic center. Everything is falling through curved space, and that infinite fall creates all the orbital motion we see. You're falling right now, lying in bed. The Earth is falling around the sun. You're just falling with it. You can't feel it, because everything around you is falling at the same rate. But you're in constant motion, constant free fall through the cosmos. But here's the thing nobody tells you. Gravity also affects time. The stronger the gravitational field, the slower time passes. If you could observe someone falling into a black hole, you'd see them slow down, moving slower and slower, until they appeared to freeze at the event horizon. Time itself stops at the edge of a black hole from an outside perspective. But for the person falling in, time would seem normal. They'd pass through the event horizon in finite time. But once inside, escape is impossible. Not because there's a wall, but because every direction, even backward in time, points toward the singularity at the center. Inside a black hole, moving forward in time means moving toward the center. There is no other option. The future is a place. It's the singularity. Black holes are where our understanding breaks down. At the center is a point of infinite density called a singularity, a place where all the black hole's mass is crushed down to a point smaller than an atom, where the laws of physics break down completely. All the mass of the black hole compressed to a point with no size. Infinite density. Infinite curvature of space-time. The equations produce infinity, which in physics usually means we don't understand what's really happening. Maybe there's no singularity. Maybe quantum effects prevent it. Maybe there's something else there, something we can't predict, because we don't have a theory that combines quantum mechanics and general relativity. That's the frontier. That's where our knowledge ends. But here's what we do know. Black holes exist. We've detected them through their effects on nearby matter. We've even photographed one. The Event Horizon Telescope captured an image of the supermassive black hole at the center of galaxy Messier 87. It's 6.5 billion times the mass of the Sun, and it's 55 million light-years away. We photographed something that massive, that far away. That's remarkable. At the center of our own Milky Way galaxy, there's a black hole called Sagittarius A star. It's about 4 million times the mass of the Sun. We've watched stars orbit around it, tracing out elliptical paths, moving at thousands of miles per second. Those orbits tell us there's something massive there, something we can't see, something dark. Most galaxies have supermassive black holes at their centers, millions or billions of times the mass of the Sun. We don't know why. We don't know how they got so big. Did they form from the collapse of giant stars early in the universe? Did they grow by consuming gas and stars over billions of years? We're not sure. But those black holes may have played a role in galaxy formation. Their gravity may have helped pull matter together in the early universe. They may have shaped the structure of galaxies. Life may exist because black holes exist. You may be here because of the darkest objects in the universe. Everything is connected. Everything affects everything else. The gravity of distant galaxies shapes the path your atoms took to to get here. The expansion of space determines whether the universe will end in fire or ice or something else entirely. You're woven into the largest patterns. You're part of the cosmic web. Maybe you're lying there worried about a relationship, about a conversation you had or didn't have, something you said or should have said, a connection that feels broken or strained, someone you miss, someone you hurt, someone who hurt you. It feels heavy. It feels permanent. I understand. So let me show you something. Let me zoom out with you. Every word ever spoken between humans has been carried by air molecules: oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide. Those molecules have been on Earth for billions of years. They've been breathed by dinosaurs, by ancient humans, by every living thing that ever existed. The words you spoke to someone you love, those sound waves traveled through air that has carried every declaration of love in human history. Every goodbye, every reconciliation, every apology. The air you breathe has been breathed by Cleopatra, by Leonardo da Vinci, by people whose names we'll never know. You share breath with all of humanity across all of time, and human conversations, all of them combined, might total 640 billion hours. That's how much time humans have spent talking to each other throughout history. 640 billion hours of connection, of communication, of trying to understand and be understood. Your conversation, the one you're worried about, is one moment in that vast ocean of human interaction. It matters to you. It should. But zoom out. In the scope of human history, in the context of trillions of conversations across thousands of generations, it's one wave in an infinite ocean. And consider this. Every person you've ever spoken to is made of atoms that were inside stars. You've never had a conversation with a human being. You've had a conversation with stardust temporarily organized into the pattern of a person. Stardust speaking to stardust about stardust concerns. Your worry about that relationship? It's atoms worrying about their temporary configuration with other atoms. And those patterns change. They always change. People grow. Relationships evolve. What feels broken today might heal tomorrow. What feels permanent might shift. The atoms that made that conversation possible were here for 4.5 billion years before you met that person. They'll be here for billions of years after. Your worry is traveling through space at 1,000,000 miles per hour. It's one moment among 640 billion hours of human connection. Let it be small. You'll have more conversations. You'll connect again. And even if a particular relationship ends, the atoms will continue. New patterns will form. New connections will emerge. Let it be small. Because in cosmic terms, it is. And that web is mostly empty. If you removed all the stars, all the planets, all the gas and dust, the universe would still have its structure. Because most of the mass is dark matter. We can't see it. It doesn't interact with light. But we can see its gravitational effects. Galaxies rotate faster than they should based on visible matter. Galaxy clusters hold together more strongly than they should. Something invisible is there. A lot of something. Dark matter makes up about 27% of everything. Regular matter, the stuff we're made of, the stuff we can see, is only about 5%. 5%. Everything we've ever seen or touched or measured is just 5% of reality. The rest is dark matter and dark energy. The rest is unknown. We're living in a universe we barely understand. And that's okay. That's the nature of being conscious matter in an incomprehensibly vast cosmos. We know some things. We wonder about others. And the wondering is part of what makes us human. Let's drift into something gentler now. Let's talk about the building blocks of matter. Atoms. An atom is almost entirely empty space. The nucleus at the center is incredibly small. If an atom were the size of a football stadium, the nucleus would be the size of a pea at the center. The electrons would be tiny specks orbiting somewhere in the stands. Everything in between is empty. But it's not really empty. It's filled with fields. The electromagnetic field, the electron field, quantum fields that permeate all of space. Those fields are what's fundamental. Particles are just excitations in those fields, ripples in the deeper fabric of reality. When you touch something, you never actually touch it. The electrons in your hand repel the electrons in the object. It's electromagnetic force, not physical contact. You're hovering a tiny distance above everything you think you're touching. You've never truly touched anything in your life. You're floating through existence on a cushion of electric force. At the quantum level, particles don't have definite positions until they're measured. An electron doesn't exist in one place. It exists in a cloud of probability. It's everywhere it could be, all at once, until something forces it to choose. This is the famous wave-particle duality. Matter behaves like a wave until you look at it. Then it collapses into a particle. This isn't metaphor. This is how reality works at the smallest scales. Particles exist in multiple states simultaneously until observed. They're in a superposition of all possible states. The act of measurement forces reality to choose one outcome from many possibilities. And then there's this. This is the part that still amazes me. Particles can be entangled. Two particles can be connected in such a way that measuring one instantly affects the other, no matter how far apart they are. Change the spin of one electron, and its entangled partner changes instantly, even if it's on the other side of the universe. Faster than light. Instantaneous connection. Einstein called this spooky action at a distance. He didn't like it. He thought it meant quantum mechanics was incomplete. But experiment after experiment has confirmed it. Entanglement is real. Particles that have interacted remain connected in some way that transcends space and time. Some scientists think this means the universe is fundamentally non-local. That separation is an illusion. That at some deep level, everything is still connected to everything else, like it was in the first instant after the Big Bang. We've spread out across billions of light years, but the connections remain. You are made of particles that were entangled with other particles in the Big Bang. Those other particles are now scattered across the universe, inside stars, inside planets, inside other people. You're connected to all of it. The boundary between you and the rest of existence, it might not be as solid as it seems. This is not mysticism. This is quantum mechanics. It's the most precisely tested theory in all of science. And it tells us that reality is far stranger than our intuition suggests. Particles communicate across space. They exist in multiple states. They don't have properties until measured. The universe is probabilistic at its core. And somehow, from this strange quantum foam, from the sea of probability and uncertainty, the solid, deterministic world we experience emerges. Atoms bond into molecules. Molecules organize into cells. Cells become organisms. Organisms become conscious. Consciousness reflects on itself and asks why. You are quantum uncertainty made flesh. You are probability waves collapsed into a stable pattern. You are the universe's way of measuring itself. And in measuring itself, it creates the reality you experience. Maybe you're lying there worried about the future, about what's going to happen, about decisions you need to make, about outcomes you can't control, about whether things will work out, about whether you'll be okay. It feels uncertain. It feels overwhelming. I understand. So let me show you something about the future. Let me zoom out with you into quantum reality. In quantum mechanics, the future doesn't exist yet. Not as a fixed thing. It's a cloud of possibilities. Multiple potential timelines, all existing simultaneously until something forces reality to choose. This is called superposition. Particles exist in all possible states until measured, and the same might be true for the universe. The future exists in all possible states right now, branching, merging, waiting, until the present moment collapses it into actuality. So when you worry about what's going to happen, you're worrying about something that doesn't exist yet. You're imagining one possible future and treating it as inevitable. But it's not. There are infinite possible futures branching from this moment. Infinite versions of tomorrow, each slightly different, all equally real in the quantum field until one manifests. Your worry is about a future that might not even happen. One probability among countless others. The future is not fixed. The future is fluid. The future is a probability cloud, not a determined outcome. Now, remember when I mentioned Carl Sagan earlier? What he said about stardust? Here's the part he knew but rarely emphasized. The part that changes everything. Carl Sagan said, "We are made of star stuff." Here's what that actually means. Every atom in your body was created inside a star. That star lived millions of years, burning elements through nuclear fusion, then died in a supernova explosion so violent it outshone an entire galaxy. That explosion scattered your atoms across space. They floated in the void for millions of years, cold, alone, drifting through the darkness of space. Then gravity pulled them together into a new cloud. That cloud collapsed into our sun. The leftover debris became Earth. Those atoms became ocean. Then those atoms became the first life. Then, billions of years later, those atoms became you. When you look at your hand, you're looking at atoms that were inside a star 5 billion years ago. The energy that made that star shine is now animating your body, powering your thoughts, creating your consciousness. You are ancient starlight given form. You are not metaphorically stardust. You are literally stardust. Every calcium atom in your bones was forged in a red giant star. Every iron atom in your blood was created in a supernova explosion. The oxygen you're breathing right now was exhaled by a dying star billions of years ago. You are a star's legacy. You are how an ancient star still shines. When that star died, it didn't disappear. It transformed. It became planets. It became oceans. It became life. It became you. When you feel small, remember this. You are the most complex thing a dying star ever created. You are stellar matter that learned to think, to feel, to love, to wonder, to ask why. You are atoms that became aware of themselves. That's not insignificance. That's cosmic magnificence. That's not being small beneath the universe. That's being the universe's most remarkable achievement. You are stardust that woke up. You are the cosmos made conscious. You are how 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution learned to experience itself. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every moment of awareness, that's ancient starlight experiencing existence through you. That's the universe knowing itself through your consciousness. That's not small. That's remarkable beyond description. Maybe you're lying there worried about money, about bills, about debts, about whether you can afford something, about financial security, about your job, about making ends meet. It feels urgent. It feels like survival. I understand. So let me show you something. Let me zoom out with you through time. Money, as a concept, has existed for about 5,000 years. Before that, for hundreds of thousands of years, humans lived without it. They bartered. They shared. They survived. Money is a human invention, a tool for facilitating exchange. It's useful, but it's not fundamental. It's not real in the way atoms are real. Earth has existed for 4.5 billion years. Life has existed for 3.5 billion years. Money has existed for 5,000 years. That's 0.000002% of Earth's history. Money is a tiny, recent experiment. Now zoom out further. The atoms in your body, they're 4.5 billion years old. They existed for billions of years before money. They existed for billions of years before Earth. They existed for billions of years before life itself. The iron in your blood was forged in a supernova explosion 5 billion years ago. That iron doesn't care about money. It existed before planets. It will exist after money is forgotten. Your financial situation is temporary. You are eternal matter temporarily concerned with a human abstraction. Your worry about money, it's traveling through space at 1,000,000 miles per hour right now, on a planet orbiting a star, in a galaxy moving through an expanding universe. You're worried about numbers in computers, symbols of value, all of it invented by humans in the last few thousand years. You've survived 4.5 billion years of planetary history. You've survived supernova. You've survived the formation of the solar system. You've survived the creation of Earth, the origin of life, 5 mass extinctions. Your atoms have endured everything the universe could throw at them. A financial problem is temporary. It can change. It will change. Everything changes. But you, eternal matter, cosmic consciousness, you outlast your debts by billions of years. Let it be small, not because it doesn't matter to you right now, but because in cosmic time, it's a moment. You'll find a way. Humans always do. And even if this particular situation doesn't resolve how you want, you'll continue. You're made of matter that survived everything. Let it be small, because compared to 4.5 billion years, it is. Let's talk about galaxies and the structure of the universe at the largest scales. Galaxies are not scattered randomly through space. They're organized. They cluster together in groups and superclusters, forming vast filaments and walls, separated by enormous voids. The universe has structure, like a cosmic web. Our Milky Way is part of a group called the Local Group, which contains about 50 galaxies. Most are small, dwarf galaxies. But there's also Andromeda, the nearest large spiral galaxy, about 2.5 million light-years away. And the Local Group is part of the Virgo supercluster, which contains thousands of galaxies. And that supercluster is part of an even larger structure called Laniakea, which contains about 100,000 galaxies spanning 500 million light-years. We're just one galaxy in a supercluster in a small corner of the observable universe. and there are billions of other galaxies beyond what we can see. The universe is unimaginably vast. But here's something strange. The farther out we look, the faster galaxies are moving away from us. This is because space itself is expanding, and the expansion is accelerating. Something is pushing the universe to grow faster and faster. We call it dark energy, and it makes up about 68% of the universe. But we don't know what it is. We can only measure its effect. It's anti-gravity, in a sense. Instead of pulling things together, it pushes space apart. If this continues, the universe will expand forever. Galaxies will drift farther and farther apart. Eventually, in trillions of years, each galaxy will be so isolated that observers in any one galaxy won't be able to see others. The universe will look empty, and eventually, stars will burn out. No new stars will form. The universe will grow cold and dark. Black holes will evaporate through Hawking radiation. Even protons might decay. The universe will reach maximum entropy, a state of perfect disorder, and nothing will happen anymore. This is called heat death, the end of everything, but that's trillions upon trillions of years away. So far in the future, it's meaningless. Right now, the universe is young. It's full of stars, full of galaxies, full of potential. Life exists. Consciousness exists. You exist. Let's stop for a moment, because what I'm about to tell you is the most important thing in this entire video. Everything else leads to this. You are not in the universe. You are the universe. Your eyes are the universe's eyes. Right now, the universe is looking at itself through you. Your thoughts are the universe's thoughts. Your consciousness is how the universe experiences existence. When you wonder, the universe wonders. When you love, the universe loves. This is not metaphor. This is not poetry. This is physics. Matter and energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. Every atom in you has always existed, will always exist. You are temporary arrangement of eternal substance. So when you ask yourself, do I matter? Wrong question. You don't matter to the universe. You are the universe mattering. You are how significance exists. Without consciousness like yours, 93 billion light years of space would exist, but never be witnessed, never be known, never matter. You are cosmos observing itself through temporary human perspective. Let that settle completely. You are the universe. Maybe you're lying there thinking about death, about mortality, about what happens when this ends, about losing people you love, about your own ending, about the finality of it all. It feels heavy. It feels scary. I understand. So let me show you something. Let me zoom out with you through the lens of physics. Your atoms cannot die. That's not optimism. That's the first law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. The atoms that make you, they've existed since 3 minutes after the Big Bang. They will exist until the end of time itself. When you die, those atoms don't disappear. They don't vanish. They transform. They're redistributed. The carbon becomes soil, becomes plants, becomes other life. The calcium becomes rock, becomes sediment, becomes new structures. The hydrogen returns to water, to air, to the endless cycle. Death is not ending. It's transformation. It's reorganization. It's the universe recycling itself, like it's been doing for 13.8 billion years. Now, zoom out further. You are a pattern, a temporary arrangement of eternal matter. The pattern dissolves, but the matter continues. You're like a wave on the ocean. The wave rises, travels, then melts back into the ocean. But the water remains. It becomes other waves. The wave is temporary. The ocean is eternal. You're both the wave and the ocean. Your consciousness, where does it go? We don't know. But consider this. Before you were born, you didn't exist. You weren't somewhere else, waiting. You were nowhere. And that nothingness didn't hurt. It wasn't scary. It just wasn't. After death, if consciousness simply ends, it will be like before birth. Nothingness. But you won't experience it as nothingness, because you won't experience anything. There will be no you to miss existence. And your atoms, they'll continue their 4.5 billion year journey. They were here before you were you. They'll be here after. You're a moment in their endless story. A beautiful, conscious, aware moment. But a moment nonetheless. You've never not existed. Your atoms have been here since the beginning, and they'll be here at the end, whatever end means. You are eternal matter, temporarily experiencing itself as human. Death is just another transformation, another reorganization, another turn in the cosmic cycle that's been turning since time began. Your atoms know how to continue. They've been doing it for billions of years. They'll keep going, because that's what matter does. It persists. It transforms. It endures. Let death be what it is, not an ending, a transformation. Let your mortality be small against the scale of your atom's eternity, because you, eternal substance, you cannot truly end. You can only change form. Let it be small, because you are vast. I want to talk about something remarkable now. Consciousness, awareness, the fact that you're lying there, hearing these words, experiencing subjective reality. You are matter that knows it exists. That's extraordinary. For billions of years, matter existed without knowing. Atoms formed, stars ignited, planets coalesced, all of it happening unconsciously. Just chemistry and physics, following laws, deterministic and mechanical. Then, somehow, through some process we still don't fully understand, matter became aware. Neurons formed networks. Patterns of electrical activity created thoughts, feelings, sensations. Somewhere in the complexity, consciousness emerged. We don't know how. This is the hard problem of consciousness. How does subjective experience arise from objective physical processes? How does the firing of neurons create the redness of red, the painfulness of pain, the you-ness of you? Some scientists think consciousness is just what information processing feels like from the inside. The brain processes information, and that processing creates the illusion of a unified self. There is no ghost in the machine, just the machine, running. Others think consciousness is fundamental, like mass or charge, a property woven into the fabric of reality. Everything has some tiny degree of consciousness, and complex systems like brains concentrate it, amplify it, create the rich inner life you experience. We don't know, but we know this. You are conscious. You experience. You are the universe experiencing itself. And that's not nothing. That's everything. Without consciousness, the universe would exist, but it wouldn't matter. No one would see the stars. No one would appreciate the beauty. No one would wonder why. Consciousness is how the universe knows it exists. You are how the universe knows it exists. When you look at the night sky, you're not separate from it. You're part of it. The stars created the atoms in your eyes. Those eyes evolved to see light from those stars. You are the universe looking at itself, a strange loop, an Ouroboros of existence. Maybe you're lying there wondering if anything matters, about purpose, about meaning, about why you're here, about whether your life has significance, about whether the universe cares. It feels heavy. It feels existential. I understand. So let me show you something. Let me zoom out to the ultimate scale. The universe is 93 billion light years across, contains 2 trillion galaxies. Each galaxy contains hundreds of billions of stars. Most stars have planets. The scale is incomprehensible. And you might think, against that scale, I'm nothing. I don't matter. I'm insignificant. But zoom back in. All of that. 93 billion light years, 2 trillion galaxies, uncountable stars. All of it exists, but doesn't matter. Not until something like you appears. Not until consciousness emerges. Not until the universe can know itself. Without you, without consciousness, the universe would be like a movie playing in an empty theater. Beautiful, vast, complex, but unwatched, unwitnessed, meaningless. You are what makes it matter. You are the witness. You are the awareness that transforms blind cosmic process into experienced reality. You are how meaning exists. When you ask, "Do I have purpose?" you're asking the wrong question. You don't have purpose. You are purpose. You are how the universe creates meaning. Through consciousness, through awareness, through you. Every moment you exist, every thought you think, every feeling you feel, that's the universe mattering. That's significance occurring. Not because the universe assigned you a purpose, but because you are the mechanism through which purpose emerges. You are 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution, learning to ask why. You are stardust that became aware and said, "What does this mean?" The asking is the meaning. Your life might feel small against cosmic scale, but cosmic scale without consciousness is just physics, just matter moving according to laws. It's you, awareness, consciousness, experience that transforms physics into meaning. You don't matter to the universe. You are the universe mattering. You are how significance happens. You are what makes any of it count. Let the existential worry be small, not because meaning doesn't exist, but because you are meaning. You create it by existing, by being aware, by asking the question. You are the universe asking itself why it exists. That's not insignificance. That's the most important thing in existence. Let it be clear. You are meaning itself, experiencing existence through temporary human form. Let me tell you about something that might help you sleep. The fact that your brain, right now, is preparing for rest. Sleep is not shut down. It's not darkness. It's a different mode of consciousness. When you sleep, your brain is incredibly active, doing maintenance work that can't happen while you're awake. During deep sleep, your brain produces slow delta waves, 0.5 to 4 cycles per second. The slowest brain waves you ever experience. In those moments, your consciousness slows to its most fundamental rhythm. Some neuroscientists believe this is as close as the living brain gets to the timelessness that existed before thought, before consciousness, before time itself began. You're returning to something ancient, something that existed before you were you. And in REM sleep, when you dream, your brain is more active than when you're awake. It's processing memories, consolidating learning, integrating experiences. Dreams are your brain's way of making sense of the day. connecting new information to old, finding patterns, solving problems. Sometimes dreams are bizarre. Impossible things happen. You can fly. You can breathe underwater. The laws of physics don't apply. That's because the part of your brain that checks for consistency, that reminds you what's possible, is mostly offline during dreams. You experience pure imagination unfiltered by reality constraints. Dreams are practice for death, in a way. In REM sleep, time becomes non-linear. You can experience years in a moment, or moments stretched into eternity. Space becomes fluid. You can be in multiple places. Your identity can shift. You're not bound by the physical. Every night, you practice letting go of the constraints of waking reality. You practice being consciousness without a fixed body, without fixed rules. And every morning, you return. You re-inhabit your body. You remember who you are. Sleep teaches you that you can release everything and still exist. Ancient mystics called sleep the little death, not as a warning, but as encouragement. Sleep is practice for the ultimate letting go. And if you can trust sleep, if you can surrender to it every night, then perhaps death is not something to fear. It's just a longer sleep, a final release. But you're not there yet. You're here, alive, conscious. And tonight, you just need rest. You need restoration. Your body needs to repair itself. Your brain needs to process and consolidate. That's all sleep is. Biological maintenance. But it's also a return to cosmic consciousness. When you're deeply asleep, the boundaries of self dissolve. You're not thinking about who you are. You're not maintaining the story of yourself. You're just consciousness, pure awareness without content. That's what meditation aims for. But sleep achieves it naturally, every night. So let yourself drift. Let your identity blur and fade. You're not losing yourself. You're expanding beyond self. You're becoming the universe again, temporarily unbounded. Tomorrow, you'll contract back into this human form, this specific life. But for a few hours, you can be everything. Sleep is your homecoming. It's the closest you get to cosmic consciousness while alive. Don't resist it. Embrace the dissolution. Let your thoughts slow. Let your breathing deepen. Let the boundaries soften. You are the universe preparing for rest. Close your eyes. You're going home. What I'm about to share, this changed how I see everything. Let me tell you about light. It's the fastest thing in the universe. 186,000 miles per second. Nothing with mass can go that fast. Only massless particles, photons, can reach light speed. And at light speed, time stops. From a photon's perspective, if it had a perspective, its journey is instantaneous. A photon emitted from a distant star travels for millions of years from our perspective. But from the photon's perspective, no time passes at all. It leaves the star and arrives at your eye in the same instant. This is relativity. Time is not absolute. It depends on your reference frame. The faster you move, the slower time passes for you relative to the outside world. At light speed, time stops completely. This means, in a sense, photons are eternal. They exist outside time. They're emitted and absorbed in the same moment. They experience no duration. They are timeless messengers, carrying information across space, connecting moments. Light has no mass, but it has energy. And energy has mass equivalence through Einstein's famous equation. So light can be affected by gravity. It can be bent by massive objects. This is gravitational lensing. Light from a distant galaxy can be bent by a closer galaxy, creating multiple images, distorting the view. We use gravitational lensing to study the universe, to see objects too faint to detect directly, to measure the mass of galaxy clusters. Light is our tool for exploring the cosmos, and light carries information. The spectrum of light tells us what stars are made of. The red shift tells us how fast galaxies are moving. The intensity tells us how far away they are. Almost everything we know about the universe, we learned from light. But light has limits. It only started traveling freely 380,000 years after the Big Bang. Before that, the universe was opaque, so we can't see earlier than that. The cosmic microwave background is our horizon. We can't see beyond it, and because light has a finite speed, we can only see a finite distance. The observable universe has a radius of about 46 billion light years, not because there's nothing beyond that, but because light from farther away hasn't had time to reach us yet. There's more universe beyond what we can see, maybe infinitely more, but we can never observe it. It's beyond our horizon, forever unreachable. And light is how we connect to the cosmos. When you look at the stars, you're seeing light that traveled for years, decades, sometimes thousands of years. You're looking at the past, the universe as it was, not as it is. You lie in bed feeling solid, but you're mostly emptiness vibrating at certain frequencies. You emit light in the infrared from the heat of your body. You reflect light with your skin, your eyes. You're constantly interacting with photons, absorbing them, emitting them, scattering them. You're woven into the light field of the universe. You're part of the cosmic network. And when you close your eyes, when you sleep, you're still part of it. The light continues around you, through you, connecting you to everything. But if time and light work this way, then what does that mean for tomorrow? You're still awake. That's okay. There's no pressure. You're welcome to keep listening, or you can let this fade into the background as you drift away. Whatever happens is fine. Let me tell you about time, not clock time, not the time measured by watches and calendars, but deep time, cosmic time, geological time, the vastness of duration. Humans live about 70 to 80 years on average. That feels long to us, because it's all we know. But in the context of Earth's history, it's nothing. Earth has existed for 4.5 billion years. Human life is a tiny, tiny fraction of that. If you compressed Earth's history into a single year, humans would appear in the last few minutes before midnight on December 31st. All of recorded history, all of civilization, all of writing, all of art and science and war and peace, that would be the last few seconds. We are so new, so recent, and yet we think we're permanent. We think our problems are eternal. They're not. They're fleeting moments in an incomprehensibly long history. And the future, Earth will exist for billions more years. The sun will eventually die, but that's 5 billion years away. In the meantime, life will continue to evolve. New species will emerge. Old species will go extinct. The continents will drift. Mountains will rise and erode. Oceans will shift. Earth has time. So much time. And you're made of atoms that have been here since the beginning. Your atoms will be here until the end. You're part of the long story. But you, as a pattern, as a specific arrangement of atoms, you're temporary. You're a brief configuration, a moment of organization in the flow of matter. And that's okay. That's how life works. Patterns form, persist for a while, then dissolve. And new patterns form from the same matter. You're like a wave on the ocean. The wave rises, travels, then collapses back into the ocean. But the water remains. It becomes other waves. The wave is temporary. The ocean is eternal. You're both the wave and the ocean. Maybe you're lying there worried about tomorrow, about waking up, about facing another day, about everything that needs to be done, about whether you'll be okay, about whether you can handle it. It feels heavy. It feels like too much. I understand. So let me show you something one last time. Let me zoom out with you. Tomorrow is just one more rotation of a planet that's been spinning for 4.5 billion years. One more orbit around a star that will keep burning for 5 billion more years. One more moment in a universe that's existed for 13.8 billion years and will exist for trillions more. Tomorrow is one day out of billions, one rotation out of an infinite series. It feels enormous to you right now, but zoom out. In the context of cosmic time, tomorrow is a blink, a breath, a single moment in an endless sequence. And you're made of atoms that have survived every single day since Earth formed, every storm, every ice age, every mass extinction, every moment of chaos and change and transformation. Your atoms know how to continue. They've been doing it for billions of years. Tomorrow, you'll wake up, like you've woken up thousands of times before. The sun will rise, like it's risen billions of times before. The Earth will keep spinning. The universe will keep expanding. And you'll be there, conscious, aware, made of ancient matter that knows how to persist. You don't have to face tomorrow alone. You're supported by 4.5 billion years of atomic persistence. You're carried by forces that have sustained reality since the beginning of time. Gravity holds you. The electromagnetic force binds your molecules. The strong nuclear force keeps your atoms intact. The universe has been holding you together since before you were you. It's not going to stop tomorrow. Your worry about tomorrow. It's traveling through space at 1,000,000 miles per hour. It's one worry among infinite worries that humans have had across all of time. And most of those worries never materialized. Most of the things we fear never happen. Tomorrow will come, and it will become today. And then it will become yesterday. And then it will be one day among thousands, slowly fading into the past, joining all the other days that once felt overwhelming but passed anyway. You've survived every day so far. 100% success rate. Your atoms have survived billions of years of cosmic events. Tomorrow is just one more day. Let it be small. Let tomorrow wait. For now, just be here, breathing, resting, existing. You don't need to solve tomorrow tonight. You just need to sleep. Let it be small, because you are vast. You are ancient. You are eternal matter, temporarily focused into human form. And tomorrow is just one more rotation in an endless series. You'll be okay. You always have been. The atoms know how to continue. Let it be small. Let tomorrow be small. Let everything be small except this moment, this breath, this rest. You've got this. The universe has been carrying you for billions of years. It's not stopping now. Before you drift completely into sleep, let me give you something practical. A tool you can use tomorrow, next week, whenever anxiety returns. This technique, this cosmic zoom, it's not just for bedtime. You can use it anytime, anywhere. Here's how. Step 1. Acknowledge the worry. Don't fight it. Don't push it away. Name it clearly. I'm anxious about this presentation. I'm worried about this conversation. I'm stressed about this deadline. Whatever it is, say it to yourself honestly. Step 2. Zoom out. Remind yourself that right now, this very second, you're on a planet spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. You're orbiting a star at 67,000 miles per hour. That star is moving through the galaxy at 500,000 miles per hour. Your worry is not standing still. It's traveling through space. It's moving. Everything is moving. Step 3. Find cosmic perspective. Your worry is temporary. Hours, days, maybe weeks. But you're made of atoms that are 4.5 billion years old. You outlast your worry by eons. That's not optimism. That's physics. Your atoms were here before your worry existed. They'll be here after it's forgotten. Step 4. Return with power. I've survived 4.5 billion years of cosmic events. I can survive this meeting. I can survive this conversation. I can survive this day. Not because you're strong in some superhuman way, but because you're made of eternal matter. You're made of substance that's already survived everything that could be survived. That's the technique. 4 steps. Acknowledge. Zoom out. Cosmic perspective. Return with power. Use it tomorrow when anxiety hits, when your mind starts spiraling, when worry feels overwhelming. Stop, take a breath, and remember, you're on a planet spinning through space at 1,000,000 miles per hour. Your worry is temporary. You are eternal matter temporarily focused into human form. It works because it's not positive thinking. It's not affirmation. It's physics. It's scale. It's reality. You are cosmic scale. You're just reminding yourself of what's true. This is scale medicine. Use it. Share it. Teach it to others. When someone you love is anxious, zoom out with them. Remind them they're traveling through space. Remind them their atoms are ancient. Remind them they outlast their worry by billions of years. You have this tool now. It's yours. Use it whenever you need it. Now let's talk about sleep itself. Sleep is waiting for you, not as an enemy, not as shutdown, but as a return, a homecoming. You're going back to the cosmic consciousness you came from. When you sleep deeply, your sense of self dissolves. You're not thinking about who you are. You're not maintaining the story. You're just consciousness, boundless, undefined. And that's closer to your true nature than the waking self, the you that you think you are. It's a construct, a useful fiction. But in deep sleep, that fiction dissolves. And what remains is the awareness itself, the light of consciousness, without content. That's what you really are. Not the thoughts, not the body, not the name or the history. You're the awareness in which all those things appear. The space, the openness, the presence. And sleep takes you back to that. Every night. It's practice. Practice for letting go. Practice for dissolving. Practice for death, which is just a longer sleep. But you're not dying tonight. You're just resting. Your body needs repair. Your brain needs processing. Your consciousness needs a break from maintaining the self. That's all. So let go. Let the boundaries blur. Let your identity soften. You're not losing yourself. You're finding yourself. Your deeper self. The self that's always been there, beneath the noise. Imagine dissolving into space. Your body expanding, becoming transparent, merging with the air around you. No boundary between you and the room, between you and the earth, between you and the universe. You are space. You are openness. You are the field in which everything appears. And when you sleep, You return to that field. You rest in your true nature. Breathe slowly. Feel your chest rise and fall. That breath is ancient. Those oxygen molecules have been breathed by countless beings before you. You're breathing the same air as ancient humans, as dinosaurs, as the first life forms. You share breath with everything. And as you breathe out, you let go. You release. You give back to the universe what it gave you. And you receive again with the next breath. This exchange, this cycle, this is what keeps you alive. This connection. You're never separate. You're always connected, always part of the flow. Even when you feel alone, you're not. You're woven into the fabric of existence. You're held by gravity, bathed in light, breathing air that connects you to all life. Let that connection hold you. Let it support you. You don't have to hold yourself together. The universe does that for you. Gravity holds your atoms in place. Electromagnetic force holds your molecules together. The strong nuclear force binds your atomic nuclei. You're held. You're supported. Always. So rest. Trust the universe to keep you. Trust that you'll wake up tomorrow. Trust that the atoms will remain bound. The heart will keep beating. The breath will keep flowing. Trust life. It's been doing this for billions of years. It knows what it's doing. You are life. You are the universe living. And tonight, you're returning to rest, to restore, to prepare for tomorrow's continuation. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Let the darkness be comforting. It's not emptiness. It's fullness. The darkness is full of potential, full of rest, full of peace. Tomorrow will come, and you'll rise, and you'll continue. But for now, let it all go. Let the day dissolve. Let the worries fade. Let the thoughts slow and stop. You're safe. You're home. You've traveled 13.8 billion years to be here. You've crossed the entire universe to arrive at this moment. And now you can rest. The stars will keep shining. The earth will keep spinning. The universe will keep expanding. Everything will continue without your attention. You don't have to hold it all. You can let go. Sleep well, one sleepy soul. Let the cosmos hold you as you drift into dreams. Let yourself dissolve into the vast, ancient, eternal consciousness that you are. You are the universe remembering itself. And now, it's time to rest. Welcome home. Sweet dreams.